One of the big surprises when the Anglican Church in North America began was the interest on the part of other branches of Christ Church, and particularly among the Catholic branches of the church. You may remember that at the first assembly in Bedford, Metropolitan Jonah, representing the Orthodox Church in America, stepped forward and said that he wanted to pursue ecumenical dialogue with the Anglican Church in North America. Subsequent to that, we've seen the Orthodox essentially break all ecumenical dialogue with the Episcopal Church, and right now, and we're seeing it unfold with the Church of England, right now, the only Western Anglican jurisdiction with whom Orthodoxy is in dialogue is the Anglican Church in North America. So I begin with the Orthodox because the Orthodox really began with us. And if you know the history of the deep dialogue that's gone on between what shall we call non-papal Catholicism, there's a reason for this. The Anglicans and the Orthodox have always been friends, and it goes even much deeper than that into the ancient church. And you may remember that there was a synod where called Whitby, where it was decided that the Western calendar would be used instead of the Eastern calendar. Well, there was a reason why the Celts had been using the Eastern calendar. So there's a deep, deep relationship between Orthodoxy and the Anglican way. Some upcoming news you might be interested in. The Orthodox dialogue has continued to go forward, and in fact it is expanding. In early November, I will be accompanying our new Archbishop Foley Beach to St. Vladimir's Seminary. We have been invited there. The occasion will be Metropolitan Hilarion Alfeev of Moscow is being awarded an honorary doctorate by St. Vladimir's Seminary. And we have been invited there with the express purpose of Metropolitan Hilarion meeting our new Archbishop. Metropolitan Hilarion, you may remember, was awarded an honorary doctorate from Nashotah House. And by the way, there's a concordat between Nashotah House and St. Vladimir's seminaries. And in late 2000, I think that was 2012, he received an honorary DD from Nashotah House. And our ecumenical team met with him on that occasion. And he made it very clear that the Russian Orthodox Church is interested and wants to pursue dialogue with the Anglican Church in North America. And in fact, again, reiterating that they've broken all ecumenical dialogue with the Episcopal Church. That's a sad story. It's in a broken state, and I don't think recoverable at this point. So in early November, we go to introduce our new Archbishop, and I think it will be an encouragement to Metropolitan Hilarion that our new Archbishop does not ordain women to the priesthood, and has been clear about that and restated it since being elected as Archbishop. I think that we will continue to see expanding dialogue within the Orthodox community. So a good bit of interest in the Anglican Church in North America. On the Roman Catholic front, I was honored and privileged to be invited to meet the new Holy Father at the end of last year, Pope Francis. An extraordinary moment. I was there with some other bishops from the Church of England, and tell you a little bit about the arrangement which presents a picture that if you know anything about Pope Francis, you won't be surprised. We were there, by the way, the day, you may remember, there was a man with horrible cysts all over his face and his head, and Pope Francis went out and embraced him and kissed him on the top of the head. We were there that day. It's almost humorous watching this, his Secret Service try to keep up with him. Because when he comes out, the Pope every Wednesday has a public audience. And the weather was good, so it was out in front of St. Peter's. There were, they estimate there were 100,000 people there. And so when he came out, he was in his, his Pope-mobile, and he was directing it. It would go this way, that way, around, all around, and he would greet people. And as I said, there was one moment where he got out and he embraced this man and recognized Christ in him. And then he came up to proceed with the ordinary procedure of the day, which is he delivers a teaching. The Pope delivers a public teaching, then receives greetings from usually different groups from around the world by way of their bishops who've brought them, or archbishops or cardinals. And his archbishops and bishops and cardinals sit to his left. He was up on a stage area in his chair with a canopy over it, because it was kind of a hot day for Rome in late fall. I think it was like 70 degrees that particular day. It felt rather cool to me as a Texan, So then after he receives greetings from around the world, groups from around the world, then his bishops and archbishops and cardinals come up and have a private moment with him and greet him. And the Anglican bishops, we were seated just to his right, just as it had been with Pope Benedict. And so we got ready. We were given the word that we would follow his bishops, archbishops, and cardinals to greet him. And so we got ready to do that. And when it was time for us to walk up, Pope Francis sort of signaled like that, got up out of his chair, walked down off his platform, came over and embraced us. That was just one of those poignant moments. And he is indeed the man you perceive, a gracious, humble servant of Christ who let us know how much he appreciated our witness and wanted to know from us about this whole movement within the Anglican Communion. It's been called the Global Anglican Future Conference, GAFCON. Now it's the fellowship, the Global Fellowship of Confessing Anglicans. So a very significant meeting that we were invited so soon. I thought at some point after, because when we had gone to see Benedict, and then subsequent to that, he resigned his papacy. I thought at some point, maybe in a couple of years, we would be allowed to meet the new pope. But it was within months that we were invited and allowed to meet him. I can also tell you that at our recent gathering at St. Vincent's College and Abbey outside of Latrobe, there in Pennsylvania, we had an ecumenical evening. I think Bishop Ackerman's referred to that. And we had an evensong. And for the first time, the an arch-abbot, the arch-abbot of the monastery, and the nearby Roman bishop of Greensburg processed with us and worshiped with us in this service. So that's the first time, and very significant that they did this. So God is doing something, both officially and unofficially. It's very unofficial with the Roman Church right now. We don't have a, quote, official dialogue, but however you want to perceive it, it's significant that the Pope is willing to talk to Anglican bishops who are part of this movement now within the Anglican Communion. A couple other dialogues quickly tell you about, and then I'll ask Bishop Lipka if he's here to talk about the PNCC real quickly, kind of give a little update on that. We've also had extraordinary dialogue with the Lutherans, both the North American Lutheran Church and the Missouri Synod Lutheran Churches. We have Eucharistic hospitality with the North American Lutheran Church, which means they may receive communion in our churches, we may receive communion in their churches. And we continue to make great progress with the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. We've crafted an agreed upon statement regarding marriage and the family. They continue to want to have dialogue with us, worship with us, and for the Missouri Synod Lutherans, that's really a powerful statement that their representatives are worshiping with us. So I will stop there, and maybe Bishop Lipka, if you could give just a brief statement about the Polish National Catholic Church.
Back at you. Just a quick report on the Polish National Dialogue. I'll be coming home Saturday night, celebrating and preaching at our cathedral, MDAS Pro Cathedral, on Sunday. And on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we will have our dialogue meeting with the Polish National Church in Scranton, which is, we meet twice a year, and we've made great progress together. There's a lot of similarities. Many of you know, I'm sure, that at one time, the Polish National Church and the Episcopal Church enjoyed intercommunion and fellowship, exchange of ministries and everything, all those things. That was aborted by the Polish National Church when the Episcopal Church ordained the famous Philadelphia group was ordained, or right after that. Our progress is really great. We've had Bishop Ray here give some papers on the Eucharist, and Bishop Ackerman did on ecclesiology and the church, and we had Father Kevin Donlin at our last meeting in Dallas give a presentation about canonical conciliarism with the 10 principles of how to start a dialogue right that will lead to fruit. That was an amazing meeting we had at Holy Communion in Dallas, because it really struck a chord with the Polish National Catholic Church, and so we took that home and began to study it, and I formed a group of clergy in my part of the diocese that we met together and said, what would ecumenism look like if we followed these principles? And we went through them. We met about once a month and just talked about those principles and how the church would look. Well, to make a long story short, because I was only supposed to be unaccustomed to public speaking as I am, but anyhow, we're going to meet this time, and what we've decided to do, the Polish National Church, after going through those principles, said, you know, we need to move forward. We just can't be delivering papers and then doing responses to those papers. So I had the brilliant idea one night, and I called Bishop Paul Sobiechowski, who's my counterpart in the Polish National Church, and I said, why don't we start with the agreement you had with TEC? And we'll place that alongside the ACNA and see where there's still a deficit. Well, obviously, we all know what the deficit's going to be. But anyway, that's where we're going to start. This week, we're going to be taking a look at the bond agreement and the agreement of the Episcopal Church with the Polish National Church. And we're going to make that a starting point of what needs to happen before we can enjoy full communion with them once again.